Salakia, man. Salakia. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians and to the people afar off, for the Lord has spoken it. Verse 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So this is what's happening right now. My boy, back in the world, he was definitely a friend back in the world, Jake, Southern Kingdom Jake, Judah, he joined the military, and I let him know, man, a minute ago. I told him straight up, I was like, bro, if you join the military, you're gonna go to, you're gonna go to World War III, and you're going to fight the Lord and His angels. And he's like, you're crazy, man. That shit, no, we're never gonna go into World War III. That's just never gonna happen, and whatnot, right? What people were thinking about, a couple years ago, we never gonna go into World War III. We're the strongest and whatnot. So he joined the war. He joined the military, and this is like a couple years ago. They say 2019, more than 5 years ago. So bro's still in there, and he realized, bro, right off the rip, he realized that, damn, like, we're really not. He's like lower ground, infantry, soldiers. And he really noticed that they're not even that advanced for real. How he thought they were supposed to go into this war. So technically, he called me. He called me 3 days ago, like, or Slacky, what was it, Wednesday or Thursday, that he was gonna get deployed to Iran, and it's the spirit that he had woken up right before that. He started liking a lot of posts about Israel, the small hatters. He started seeing that they weren't the true people. He started noticing, about the Most High, how these, elites were really, doing things and whatnot. We always knew it, through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, of course, and our elders. But now, he's out there, and he said that, dude, I'm getting sent out to the, to Dubai, and that's where we're gonna be set up as, just in case they go ahead and strike. And if they strike, we're going in. So they struck, and so he messaged me. He messaged me yesterday, and I told him, I'm like, hey, you didn't get deployed or what? He's like, yeah, but since they struck, they're gonna send us over there via ship. So at the end of the day, man, war is inevitable. It's getting ready to happen. Iran had just stopped their deliveries to or their oil getting sent out to America, and that's also in the scriptures, man. These tariffs, because war is gonna cause a famine. War is gonna cause a disruption in the markets. Because what if we can't get our products over here, via the cargos and whatnot? Guess what's gonna happen to your Walmarts, to your Targets, to your your grocery store down the street? They're not gonna have any product or any merchandise. And if they do have product and merchandise, they're gonna have to pay a premium for it. And if they pay a premium for it, guess what you're gonna have to do? You're gonna have to pay a premium for it. Hey, inflation is gonna go at an all-time high, and guess what? Only the men of Yahawashi, starting even then, are gonna be able to make it through that. Let's get that before we continue in Joel, so we can show you that. Man, you're crazy. Where does it say that in the Bible? Where does it say that there's gonna be inflation and that you guys are gonna be good during inflation and we're not? Or those that don't believe in the truth, right? So let's get it in the book of Revelation, chapter 6 and verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. So when you go back into the ancient world, a penny was likened unto your day's wage, was likened unto your paycheck. So, if you decipher the precepts according to the scriptures, this is technically saying, hey, in order for you to buy a piece of bread coming into this time, you have to spend your whole paycheck in order to even get that loaf. So let's reread that. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. See thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So when you go into the scriptures, oil and wine is likened to this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, so with this war, you're gonna have inflation. You're gonna have gas prices shoot up, because what? They're not gonna be sending barrels over here anymore. Who are the main holders of oil? We get our oil from the Middle East. So get ready for gas prices to go up. These cargoes, of course, they're not going to be sending out merchandise to these different stores. And if these different stores do happen to buy, shit off the cargoes, they're going to pay a premium for it, which is going to translate to us having to pay a premium for it. So that's going to translate to what? Inflation. And you said, and I just showed you in Revelations, the 6th chapter, how that's in the scriptures, right? You're going to have to pay a whole paycheck in order to go ahead and buy a fucking loaf of bread. That's in the scriptures. But guess what? The brothers that have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, this truth, they're not going to affect us, man. We're going to be good. The scriptures say in the book of Isaiah, let's get it. Let's go ahead and get it. That way we can edify. So this war is not just going to be fucking casualties and whatnot. It's going to also cause America to fucking boost up prices on everything. But again, us brothers, man, we're going to be straight. This is why we hasten in the day of Yahawashi Yahawashi. We hasten in this. We want the Lord to come and bring down this judgment, man. That's why it's happening. So this is the book of Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 12. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, Salakia. And did choose that wherein I delighted not. Verse 13. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. How are we going to be able to rejoice and sing for joy of heart? Eat and drink, and because the Most High is going to bless us with it, man. That's how we're going to be able to rejoice, during the time of Jacob's trouble, during this inflation, during the downfall of America, Babylon the Great. We're going to be chilling, okay? We're not going to have, man, what is the Holy Spirit, man? The Holy Spirit, when you go into it, the Rakakwadash, is having this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. What is the Comforter? There's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Why is it likened unto a comforter? The comforter should come upon thee, right? Because Yahawashi wasn't going to walk with us as a man, but he was going to send us down what? The comforter. And the comforter is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Why? Because we're going to be comforted via the precepts. When we go into Jacob's trouble and shit's hitting the fan going crazy, what's going to be popping in brothers' minds? Us hopeful members of the elect? The precepts. Hey, we don't got to worry, man. Make no haste in the time of trouble. Hey, the scriptures say in the time of famine, I shall have more than enough. That's in the book of Psalms. Isaiah, we just read it right now. Isaiah 65 and verse 13. We just read it. Elijah, you can go into, that's in the book of Kings. The Most High feeding him, via the ravens. Daniel in the lion's den. Habakkuk, right? The scriptures say in the book of Ezekiel as well. Though Job, Daniel, and who was it? Let me see if I can find it. Bear with me. That's a good precept as well too. That's a great precept, showing you that through this famine, because again, this is going to cause a famine. And remember, Jake is strung up on fucking human meat and shit. They love this damn fucking soylent green and shit. So they're not gonna want to go ahead and just eat shit that you can naturally get off trees and whatnot, right? Fruits and whatnot. They're gonna want, and they're gonna be thinking about that damn McDonald's, that damn In-N-Out, All right, let's see. It says though. Bear with me, I can. Oh, there it is. At the water Yahawashi outside. Yep, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 14, and verse 13. I'm gonna start at verse 12. The word of Yahweh came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of bread thereof, and will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Because what? Hey, with this famine, these farmers, they're not gonna be able to feed their cattle and their livestock. So they're gonna die. And it's gonna lead the owners of that, the livestock, and the cattle and whatnot, to go ahead and search out for their own food. And it's gonna be, that's where you're gonna get these fucking different cannibal gangs and shit stacking up, lining up, because what? People know when famine hits in the cities and whatnot, they know where you guys' fucking farms are at, man. They know where you guys are gonna be stationed, that they know all these different fucking, put it in short, man, they're gonna come straight after you farmers, man. Because what? They're not gonna have foods. The scriptures say, in the book of Second Ezra that they're gonna invade one another with swords in their hands for the lack of bread thereof. So it's gonna be, yeah, I got all these damn sheep, lambs, bro. You're just putting a big ass target on your fucking on your damn property. You're putting like a big red flag, showing showing these people in the world where they can get food at when they have no means of getting it. So, son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and will break the staff of bread thereof, and I will send famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. Verse 14, this is the point. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith Yahweh power. So, hey, through us doing this work, through us coming out to the highways and the hedges, we're hoping to be those righteous men that make it through these different, plagues that are getting ready to come upon Babylon the Great. All right. Verse 15, if I cause noisome beasts to pass through the land, and they spoil it, so that it be desolate, that no man may pass through because of the beast, though these three men were in it, as I live, saith Yahweh power, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, they shall only that's heavy. And when you go into the scriptures, beasts are not just likened unto animals, they're likened unto these other nations. So like how I was saying earlier, when shit hits the fan and famine comes upon the earth, these people, they're going to be acting like beasts, ravaging everything. They're going to be coming into people's houses with the sword, cleaning things up. Where the farmers are at, they're going to be taking their fucking cattle and whatnot. So let's get that back at Ezekiel the 14th chapter. If I cause noisome beasts to pass through the land, and they spoil it, when that word spoil means take everything. So when they take everything, so that it be desolate, that no man may pass through because of the beast. Verse 16, though these three men were in it, as I live, saith Yahweh power, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, they only shall be delivered, but the land shall be desolate. Or if I bring a sword upon the land, and say, sword, go through the land, so that I cut off man and beast from it, though these three men were in it, as I live, saith Yahweh power, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters, but they only shall be delivered themselves. You see, so the Most High is only going to deliver the elect men of this, the elect men. And this is why in the book of Isaiah it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, than the fine gold of Ophir. Because what? If you're with us, right, our Eves, they're gonna make it through. Our children, they're gonna make it through. If you be, married to us, you're gonna be good. So it don't matter if you make $300,000 a year, here. It don't matter if you make $1 million a year. Shit's getting ready to hit the fan, and when it hits the fan, that bank account's not gonna matter. That woman that you're with right now is not gonna be with you because of your money anymore. She's gonna be with you because of what you can do for her. All right. And the scripture said, the mighty men shall cry there bitterly. So now you're gonna have strong ass men that are supposed to be able to defend, their wives and whatnot during the time of, calamities and whatnot. But even themselves, they're not gonna be able to make it. They're gonna be what? Crying there bitterly. Verse so like where am I at? I was at Ezekiel the 14th chapter. Verse 19, or if I send a pestilence in the land and pour out my fury upon it in blood to cut off from it man and beast, though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, saith Yahweh power, they shall deliver neither nor sons and daughters, they shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness. So pestilences are likened unto what? These different plagues, these different sicknesses that Esau Edom, uses to go ahead and try to get us sick. But guess what? Us hopeful members of the elect, we're gonna make it through. That's pretty much the point right there. Let's go back to Joel. We're gonna be good before World War III starts, man. So let's get it. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So this is what's happening. This is exactly, these nations are getting ready to go into full World War III, which is what? The third woe in the scriptures. You have the first woe, you have the second woe, and then you have the last woe in the book of Revelations, which is the third woe. And it's gonna be by burning and fuel of fire. Let's get this in the book of Isaiah. because people think that the lake of fire is a mythical place underground where you're going to be tormented by demons. The lake of fire is going to be here on Earth via the nuclear missiles, the ICBMs, and that's in this. The nuclear missiles are in the Bible. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter. Give me 1 second. Chapter 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. You see, the Most High is going to come back with these nuclear missiles. This is going to be his final judgment. All right. So verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So Iran was noted or was known as a weak nation. Right, and what are they now saying? We're gonna nuke you. We're gonna go into war with you. We got the backup with, we got Russia. We got China on our back. We're good, right? The weak are saying they're strong now. They're calling shots out to America, Babylon the Great. Iran was never known to go ahead and well, they always called out America, right? But they were never known to really be a threat. Until now, the Most High has set it up perfectly that, hey, we can't just go and take over Iran and set up a centralized bank. We got to actually fucking, we got to go through Russia and China now. Because what? They're under the bricks. All right. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords, your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I'm strong. Right? Iran's focusing on getting, getting ready to go to war, not fucking, how you say it, agriculture and, build up their fucking economy. No, they're getting ready to go to war with America. Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither, cause the mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Yahawashi, which is the Lord's judgment. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall quake. But Yahweh will be a hope for his people and the strength of the children of Israel. So shall you know that I am Yahweh, and your power dwelleth in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. Because after this last war, after World War III, and the Most High cleanses this place, what's going to happen? The new covenant is going to be established. And what does the new covenant entail? And this is how you also know we're not in the new covenant. Because how are we going to be in the kingdom? How are we going to be in the kingdom unless this kingdom goes out? So right now we're not in the new covenant. You Christians, and you got some, so-called Israelites that claim that we're in the new covenant, but we're not. All right? We're not going to be into the new covenant. We're not going to be in the new covenant until this kingdom goes down. Because what? We still go off. We still sin. We're still subject to, all types of shit. So let's go into the new covenant and what it entails, because that's the kingdom is how you say the kingdom is equal to the new covenant. So I couldn't find the word for it, but this is the book of Jeremiah. Let's get that real quick. Because if we're in the new covenant, it means that we have certain things that we need to fulfill in order to be in the new covenant. So here it is. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31 and verse 31. Behold, the day is come, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Israel is the northern kingdom, you so-called Latinos, Native Americans, and Judah is your southern kingdom, the Negro tribes. Verse 32, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith Yahweh. Verse 33, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and I will be their power, and they shall be my people. So if we were in the new covenant, we would have to have the laws written in our inward parts, meaning what? We follow the laws to a T, almost like breathing. You know, you just naturally breathe. You don't. You're still like it. Your heart beating. You can't make your heart stop and, you know, and continue. Right? It just naturally does it. That's how the laws are supposed to be. If according we're in the new covenant, and also being in the new covenant fulfills, you know, the book of Corinthians, you know, us receiving those new bodies. All right. So that's another thing. If we're in the new covenant, that means we would have to already be in these new bodies. Because, and to prove that, what is death? How do we die, brothers? You know, how do we die according to the scriptures? We sin. So if the laws are written in our inward parts and we can't sin, what does that make us? Immortals. All right. And you know what? Let's get that. You know, it's like I'm just going, you know, precept upon precept. I don't want to this be edifying. Let's get that real quick, man. Death is followed up in victory. I think it's the lower verse. It's like it. Give me one second, man. Is it 2 Corinthians or 1 Corinthians, man? It has to be 2 Corinthians. Chastisement. Bear with me, I can. I'm about to start in a minute. Man, it's making me mad that I can't find it. I had too many highlights in here. Man. The brothers know what I'm talking about, man. You know, you can go into that precept. There it is, man. The Wadi Yahawashi. It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, and verse 50. And you know what? Let me read down a little bit from Jeremiah. And verse 34, back at Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, verse 34. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahweh, for they shall all know me from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. Thus saith Yahweh, Thus saith Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divided the seas divided the seas when the waves thereof roar. Yahweh of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from me, saith Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. So it just goes to show you that the Most High is always going to deal with, you know, Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the tribes. The Most High is always going to deal with us. He's never going to stop dealing with us, because what? The Most High controls the sun and the stars. There's nothing you can do about it. Verse 37, thus saith Yahweh. That's pretty much the point, though. That's pretty much the point. You go into the new covenant. Actually, I'll get that in the book of Hebrews before getting the book of Corinthians, you know, being synonymous with the new covenant. This is the book of Hebrews. So like Hebrews 10. Yep. This is the book of Hebrews, Old Testament and New Testament, right? We went to Jeremiah, now we're in the book of Hebrews. This is the book of Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 16. This is the covenant that I will make with them after those days. Or, with them after those days, saith Yahweh. I will put my laws into their hearts, and in their minds will I write them. And their sin and the iniquities will I remember no more. That's pretty much the point. Yep. I think there's a better one than that. It says, it's pretty much the point, though. You know, we're not gonna be able to teach. We're not gonna be teaching our neighbors anymore. In the book, verse 34. This is also another point on showing you how we're not in the new covenant. Jeremiah chapter 30, back at 31 and verse 34. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I'll remember their sin no more. So this is how you also know we're not in the new covenant, because what, we're coming out to the highways and the hedges, still teaching and preaching about Yahawashi, you know, Yahweh, and you know, so Jake can get to know him, right? But in the new covenant, we're not gonna have to teach Jake and nobody about Yahweh, because everybody's gonna know him. Because what? He's gonna be ruling. He's gonna be ruling. So let's go to Corinthians, also showing you how immortality is synonymous with the new covenant, which also goes to show you that we're not in the new covenant. Brothers can still sprain their legs and whatnot. No. God. It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15 and verse 50. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. Right? Because what? Under the old covenant, we're still subject to sin. Right now, we're under grace, but we're what? Still subject to sin. Verse 51, Behold, I shew you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall all be changed. And what is that last trumpet known as? World War III, nuclear missiles. The last trumpet is going to be the beginning of World War III, and that's going to be the final judgment, right? Verse 54, So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But thanks be to the Most High, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Yahawashi Mashiach. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of Yahweh, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in Yahweh. So, as you notice, it said what? It says the sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But what's going to happen when the new covenant is fully established? The law is going to be written in our inward parts. So what? We're going to be immortal. We're not going to be able to die. This is also, heavy, and the importance of knowing that you're an Israelite, man, because this is only granted for the Israelites. Jake don't even know that. Like this is another thing that you're going to be able to have, man. Immortality, bro. Well, if you're an Israelite and you don't know you're an Israelite, you're still going to receive it no matter what. But nonetheless, this is why it's super important. And this is why this is the biggest mystery in all, really this whole life experience that we're all living. This is what life means. This is the most important thing. This is why these elites spent billions and billions and billions of dollars on hiding who the true Israelites are. This is why these elites are claiming to be the true people of the Bible, but are not. Like these small hatters. This is why they're going against us so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans so bad and want us to sin. This is why they throw pork in every little thing. This is why they try to have Jay constantly go off, because they know when we sin, we lose contact with our power. But what's happening is that through biblical prophecy, we're going to raise up at the end the prophets, and we're going to turn our people back to Yahawashi, and the end was going to be ushered in. And we started repenting. It's the book of Romans, and I'm going to close out right here, Ma'akim. It's the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 1. I say the truth in the Mashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bear me witness in the Rakak Wadash, that have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart, for I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites. This is the New Testament. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of the Most High and the promises. We just read that the Most High, according to the new covenant, he's going to what? Right? The law is in our inward part, which means you're going to be granted these different promises like we just read in the book of Corinthians. You're going to what? Be immortal. You're not going to have to, die anymore. You're not going to be, because you're not going to be sinning. Verse 5, whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ, Hamashiach, came, who is over all, Yahweh blessed forever, Amen. So you see, this is how you know, and this is why it's so important to know you're an Israelite. Because if you're an Israelite, you have the ability to repent. You have the ability to make it through Jacob's trouble. You have the ability to make it through World War III, the nuclear missiles. You have the ability, if you have this truth, to be a part of the 144,000, the governing body of the kingdom to come. All right? Because what? We're not in the kingdom right now. We're under Esau, Edom, his blessing in the book of Genesis. We're under the wicked. The scripture said that the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, and he covered the faces of the judges thereof. Esau, Edom, is in control of the world right now. This is a backwards world. This is why the elites and the rulers of this world, they're being exposed on them worshiping who? Baal, which is a fucking technically Satan, a fucking demonic deity that the Canaanites used to worship. And the Canaanites, in order to fucking serve Baal, you had to fucking sacrifice some babies. And what are these elites doing? Fucking sacrificing babies to Baal, man. Fucking Epstein's bank account was named Baal, showing you that they're not the real people. Showing you that what? This means that the rulers of this world are really the wicked that the Bible speaks of. You know what? I want to get this real quick, man, before I close out now, because, you know what? Let me get the book of Hebrews chapter 10. This is the book of Hebrews, New Testament. New Testament. Give me 1 second, man. This is Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought for it carefully with tears. You see, according to the also in the book of Romans 9 chapter, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Also in the book of Malachi. Like, damn, Lord, you hate, let's get that real quick and we can close out. Also the book of Obadiah, showing that the Most High and dealing with these damn Edomites. This is the book of Malachi chapter 4. Salaki, not chapter 4. Actually, Malachi chapter 1 and verse 1. The burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith Yahweh. Yea, say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith Yahweh? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Because what is Esau Edom's heritage, man? Wickedness, sin. Verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. You see, so Esau, Edom, you are the wicked that the Bible speaks of. When you read the book, let's get this real quick also. Because right now, the Most High has Esau, Edom in a pickle, man. You know what? I'm probably just going to keep out here for a little bit longer. It's kind of fresh now, so let's get it real quick. It's the book of Isaiah. Is it 14? Salaki. No, not 14. I think it was. I was just reading it, man. Salaki. You know what? I got my other scripture. Let me get that. I just highlighted it too. It's my fresh Bible right here. This claim right here. So let's get it real quick. I just highlighted it today. Bear with me. Oh no, Salaki, it wasn't even, it was Job. It was Job. I'm tripping. I'm hella tripping. There it is. This is the book of Job, chapter 18. I was looking at Isaiah's 18th chapter. This is the book of Job, chapter 18 and verse 1. Then answered Bildad the Shuhite and said, how long will it be ere ye make an end of words, mark, and afterwards we will speak? Wherefore we are counted as beasts and reputed vile in your sight. He teareth himself in his anger. Shall the earth be forsaken for thee, and shall the rock be removed out of his place? Yeah, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. And that's what's happening, man. The light of Esau Edom is being put out because what? At one point, Esau Edom was known as the standard of what, you know, these nations wanted to be. What he was known as a standard of what the Most High, quote unquote, what God's chosen people were supposed to be like, right? They were known, but now they're fucking running away from Esau Edom. Their light is put out. There's just straight darkness. They're looking at these Edomites like, damn, these elites, like, you guys aren't even, you know, fucking people we want to look up to for real. We know who you worship now. You know, the Most High is, you know, putting them in the corner. We know that the Most High is not dealing with you. The only reason he set you guys up was to put the Israelites into captivity. And you guys overdid your part, man. That's the only reason why you Edomites are in rulership. That's in the book of Daniel. You know, let's get that. That's in the book of Daniel, real quick, man. Real quick. Is Daniel the 4th chapter? No, it's like it. Daniel chapter 7. No, 7, no. He set up the bases of man. Where is that? It's not the 12th chapter. Give me one second. I have to go back and forth. Yep, there it is. This is the book of Daniel. I know it's chapter 4. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 4 and verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and he giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. Esau Edom, the only reason you're in rulership is because the Most High has set you up. Same reason why he set up the same reason why he set up Pharaoh. The exact same reason, just to put us into captivity. The same reason why all these other nations have gotten up over us, because what? We go off. We constantly go off against our power, you know, and we admit it, man. This is the book of Job, chapter 18, at verse 5. Yeah, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. Verse 6. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength, Salakia, the steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down, because Esau Edom thinks he's going to do all this shit and come back and rule the world. So he thinks that according to his prophecy, that they need World War III to happen so that their Messiah can come back and rule. Also, they have this, they go under this saying about the Phoenix, man, right? The Phoenix. They think they're going to go into those caves and come back out and rule the world all over again. There's a good show you can see on how Esau Edom thinks like that in the what is it? Is it the Fallout? I never played the game. My brother was super heavy into it. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Fallout, where technically, yeah, the elites, they built the bunker, you know, shit hit the fan on top, and they were supposed to wait for everybody to come out, but there was already people on the surface, you know, fucking dwelling there, and it just got all bad. But, you know, that's how they think. That's what they think is going to happen. We know what's going to happen, you know. We know what's going to happen. The kingdom of heaven is going to be set up. Brothers, you know, we're going to receive Adoran the Zalf. We be those men, spiritual powers. We're going to take down we're going to go into those bunkers, bring out the fucking elites, and set them up as, you know, the first fruits of slavery in the kingdom of heaven. And then from there, you know, they're going to be in bondage, in hard bondage for 1,000 years. Esau Edom in specific, and after 1,000 years, he's going to be extinct. And when he goes extinct, the other nations, you're gonna be, servants unto us for, the rest of the time. But you're gonna enjoy it, man. Don't think of it like Esau Edom, how he's ruling today. You're gonna be good. You other nations under our rulership, you're gonna be having the best time of your life. You're gonna be living for a long time as well. It's gonna go back to, being able to live over fucking, a lot of years and whatnot, because we're gonna have the earth in its full righteousness. Your body's gonna be able to heal nice. You're gonna be able to eat pure. You're gonna be in the greatest position ever, man. Being under our rulership, man. Verse 6, the light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and walketh upon a snare. The gin shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him into his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin. Even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. You see, verse 14, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him into the king of terrors. Who is the king of terrors? Yahawashi, man. Verse 15, it shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. His roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the streets. He shall be driven from light into darkness, and chased out of the world. You see, and that's the same thing that had happened to what? Cain, right? He was chased from everybody because what? He had been cursed with leprosy. And who has that leprosy today? Esau Edom. You see, because he's not white. There's no such thing as a white person. This book is white. There's no such thing as a white person, man. You either fucking have a hue of brown, undertones of, red, but that's it. You don't have white. All right. Verse 17, his remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the streets. He shall be driven from light into darkness, and chased out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. And you can already see that happening, via his population. Verse 20, they that come after him shall be as astonished at this day, as they that went before were affrighted. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is a place of him that knoweth not the Most High. And who knoweth not the Most High? Esau Edom, the wicked that the Bible speaks of. All right. So, hey, with that, man, I'm going to close out. I want to face the east and give all praises, honor, and glory to our power. Yahweh, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Kakwadash. I don't want to desire this conversation was edifying and exhorting to the hopeful elect. And, shalom, Yahweh, bahasham, man, because what? Hey, Esau, Edom, you're getting ready to go down. What we just read in the book of Job, the 18th chapter, that's all happening right before our eyes. There's no confidence in you. The other nations, they don't see, you as light anymore. You don't even know what to do. You're getting backed up into a corner. All your plans are being, misconstrued. Everything's getting ready to fucking go bad for you. Even you setting up the New World Order, that's in the book. Salaki, man, I was going to close out, but even you setting up the New World Order, that's not even going to come to fruition. You're going to even have trouble doing that. Believe it or not. Like, what? Where's that in the Bible? This is the book of Job, chapter 5, and verse 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And verse 13, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. You see, hey, the Most High is going to have it to where you other or when you eat like you Edomites, being able to set up your New World Order, you're going to have trouble doing it. And not only that, your counsels and everything that's in there, the Most High has control of it, and making it, so where you guys are saying things and doing things and planning out things that are just for your detriment, man, just for your, your own fall. So, hey, with that, shalom, wa yahabashim, shabakatam, akim.